So I had one of those moments this morning where I woke up and I was in a total flow state. I don't know if you've experienced this, but all these self-help guys and gals always talk about how you can manufacture the flow state, which I think is complete rubbish, by the way. I think that younger people can be in the flow state constantly for a variety of reasons. And I experienced this myself. When I was younger, I was in this complete flow all the time because I was ignorant. I didn't know what I didn't know. So it was easy for me to ignore everything around me because I only knew a few things, and so I just zoned in. And secondly, I had the ability to jettison everything else in my life and focus only on what I wanted at the moment. Like courting my wife was a perfect example. I was in the total flow state. Or when I first started my company, I was able to ignore everything in my life, at my peril, by the way. Ignoring my family, ignoring my friends, ignoring my personal health. But now as you get older, you start to realize how precious life is and things change and you start to know more. So flow becomes harder and harder because you got a lot going against you. You got a lot of knowledge in your head. You got a lot of worries. You got a lot of concerns. Now, I know you would say, well, you got to learn to remove all the distractions and focus for a period of time. Well, I agree with that. But how do you do that? Well, you do that by creating habits, and that requires routines. So I do that. So I have awesome routines and habits, and I maintain them every day, right? So like this morning, I had my dialed in routine that I do every day, every morning like clockwork. It's my routine. It's my baseline. And so I follow that same exact routine, and it produces a certain result for me. Helps me go to the gym. It helps me stay healthy. It helps me drink enough water. It helps me eat the right food. It helps me get some article content out. It helps me do all these things that I want to do, right? It's my routine. However, I've got some important projects going on in my life too that I want to be successful at. So this morning I started getting into the flow state, where ideas are clicking. Things are working really good this morning. I mean, I can sit down and be pretty high functioning when I want to do a task, but this is like a special level, right? It's like things are clicking. So do I interrupt my routine and start going with the flow? Or do I do the routine and hopefully the flow will still be there? Well, problem is I'll do the routine, go to the gym, eat, get dressed, do all the things I'm doing in my routine, and then I'll sit down at my desk and then it'll be gone. I mean, I can resurrect some of it, but by that time, the passion's gone. It's not as exciting as it was. So what I've learned, and I think this is good advice, is don't be so rigid in your routine that you're willing to interrupt the flow. Don't interrupt the flow. Let the flow, the ebb and flow of productivity is precious. When those moments come where you're on fire, stick with it and get to the routine, but put the routine secondary. Now, I know that flies in the face of what a lot of people say, but I'm telling you, some of the greatest moments in life occur when you're in the moment and when you're in the ebb and flow, that natural organic state. Now, I think we all need the regimented system-like state to keep us on track, but you can't be so rigid that you forget to be in the moment. And I'm telling you, some of the best ideas, some of the best momentum, some of the best productivity I've ever had is when I let that flow state just occur naturally. Bye.